we doing, everybody? And welcome in to Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. I'm your host, Trage. It is Friday. Finally, the weekend here. A great weekend we have set up for us here. I mean, hey, hopefully, if you're hearing this today, you avoided the mess going on around the state of Wisconsin last night. Tornadoes. I mean, there's a couple tornadoes for sure that touched down. Lots of wind, though. Lots of wind, lots of rain. I mean, we can't miss it. It's like we thought we were out of severe weather season, and, well, we got spring again. Spring is back. So, spring is back, but fall is here. We got a lot of sports going on. I'm watching college football right now. We're seeing I was gonna watch that North Carolina Minnesota game last night there, but that was in a weather delay because of the storms moving through. So ended up with North Dakota State and Colorado. That was a good game there. You know what's going to bring me nothing but joy is to see Colorado. I don't know why it is. I don't know why. Maybe it's because all the hype and everything like that. But I would be okay if Colorado stunk again. I'd be okay with it. I like Deion. I do. But he just sometimes he finds a way to rub me the wrong way. And I'd be okay if they just suck. But a big weekend of college football coming up here. I want to look at the big games that are going to be happening. Kind of go through them, see what I'm thinking. Some of the big games, who's going to win, who's, that kind of scenario there. And then we got to talk Badgers today, Brewers today. Lots going on in those realms. So right away, I want to look at the biggest game in college football for us here in Wisconsin over the weekend, and that is going to be the opening kickoff for the Badgers coming up tonight here, 8 o'clock against Western Michigan. Can't wait. Can't wait for that one. Camp Randall under the lights. Nothing better than that, even if it's Western Michigan, and it should be a pretty handily game for the Badgers. But I mean, some of those lesser teams, they find a way. They find a way to give you fits, give you troubles. So I want to look at that game, see what, some of my keys to the game are for the Badgers to win this game against Western Michigan and to take care of the business that they should be taking care of. So let's look at it. Let's look at this Western Michigan team. Last season, they were, pretty bad last season there. I believe they ended the year with 4 wins, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, 4 wins. They had 4 wins. Beat St. Francis last season there, Ball State, Eastern Michigan, and Central Michigan. Lost the game to Iowa 41-10. So if that tells you how good Western Michigan's defense is they gave up 41 points to Iowa. I didn't even think that was possible. I don't even think that Iowa, looking at the rest of their schedule last year, I just kind of want to look at that real quick. Iowa in the whole last season, the most points they scored outside of that game against Western Michigan, they scored 26 points against Michigan State. That was it. So some with the Michigan teams, right? They got the Michigan State win 26-16. Outside of that, it was that game. And then you look at the rest of them, 24 and below. I mean, they won a game 15-13. They won a game 13-10. They beat Wisconsin 15-6. So, I mean, that's just that tells you about Western Michigan's defense from last year there. So let's key on some stuff from Western Michigan. Right away, you look at Western Michigan. They have the same makeup as what the Badgers do because last season, Lane Taylor, I believe his name is there, Lance Taylor, head coach for Western Michigan, the Broncos there. He had just taken over. That was his first season as the Western Michigan head coach. So you have that turnover, just like the Badgers did with Luke Fickell, a little bit more talent in the Badgers room than what Western Michigan had, but just taking over a new program. But you can gather some things out of watching and seeing the stats from what he had last season there. So we look at this team. 39 times they went for it on 4th down. 19 for 39 on the season. They're 50%. I mean, they're 48.27 or 72. They're about 50% on the season there going for it on 4th down. So what I gather out of that is aggressive play. He's not afraid to go for it on 4th down. I would assume I'm not sitting here watching a whole lot of Western Michigan game film here. I didn't think I had to. But what I can gather out of that is he's going for it a good amount of the time. I mean, dang near 40 times last season. There 39 times. He's going for it on 4th down. That tells you a little bit of the aggressive play that he's looking to go with there. So you're looking at an aggressive coach. He's going to come after you. He's going to try and do the little things throughout a game to try sustain drives, keep your offense off the field, keep your defense on the field, keep them getting tired, everything like that. So you look at that scenario there. Also, You want to look at rushing attempts last season there. 479 rushing attempts compared to 393 passing attempts. So a majority, they like to run the football, but they're balanced. They're a balanced team, but they love to run the football. So you got to keep an eye on that there because they do have a dynamic back in that backfield, 1,000-yard rusher last year. We're going to get to him here. Outside of that, I mean, just looking at it, this Western Michigan team turned the ball over. Turned the ball over a lot, right? Turned the ball over a lot there. So they're a team that you can turn over if you are Wisconsin. Now, different year, different scenario, everything like that. But some things carry over, right? Offenses carry over at times. And all of this is going to sit on the shoulders of Hayden Wolfe. He is going to be the quarterback there at Western Michigan. Trayson Bogert was also in the room there, but I believe he transferred out. If I'm not mistaken, I believe he transferred out to, he's heading over to BYU, as far as I know. Yes, he's heading over to BYU, so they will be without one of their second quarterbacks from last year. They mixed it around last year. Nothing was going right. They were a 4-win team, so everything was going. So you look at the offense for this team, and Walt Bell, he was the former UMass head coach, and he was the Indiana offensive coordinator over the last 2 years, is taking over as the Broncos offensive coordinator now. So a little bit more of an experienced guy coming in the room. So, you know, you look at Western Michigan from last year, they were more of a mid-range team, no downfield passing game. You know, when you're so heavily reliant on the rushing game, that became inconsistent for them there. And, I mean, they failed to score 17 points multiple times. 5 times they failed to score more than 17 points in a game. So Bell coming in, the hope is for Western Michigan that they're going to have a quicker attack. You're going to have a quicker attack, better pace, be able to get down the field, everything like that. So getting a new offensive coordinator, that completely changes the offense for him. Maybe makes Wolfe's life a lot easier there at the quarterback position. Looking at the offensive line, they don't have a lot of depth. Lost a few players there, but they are getting back. They're one of the MAC conferences, the best center in the MAC conference. Jacob Gideon will be back there, and Addison West will be back there at guard. So they're going to have a couple of their pieces back. And then also, I mean, you look at the backfield then for this team. They had Jalen Buckley, and he ran for over 1,000 yards last season and 10 scores. So they have a good back. I mean, they have a good back in the room there. And then they also had Zaire Abdus Samal, was second on the team with 470 yards and 5 touchdowns. You're looking at those two. One of your keys in this game is going to be slowing down the rushing attack for Western Michigan because they love to run the football. That is their big thing. If they can get the run game going, it's going to open up everything else. That's the way I believe Bell's going to try and play this game against Wisconsin there, is to attack the front 7 for this Badger team. There's some question marks out in the cornerback room, but there's question marks in the wide receiver room for Western Michigan and at the quarterback position in Wolfe. How is he going to play in this game? So I believe they're going to try and establish that run game early on in this one. So it's going to be big for the Badgers to control the line of scrimmage in this game here. And with a very inconsistent offensive line that Western Michigan has with a lack of depth in those spots, I want to see the Badgers getting after that in this game because I believe they can get back there and put pressure on Wolfe. That's going to be a big thing, is pressuring him and slowing down that running attack. The big thing I'm looking at, though, with Hayden Wolfe is turning him over. Last season, he turned the ball over, and I mean, he was known to throw the ball away, throw it into some tight spots. 8 touchdowns to 5 interceptions last season there. He took 18 sacks on the year there. That's a rough year. That's a rough year right there. So turning Hayden Wolfe over in this game is going to be big for the Badgers. Can you get back there? Can you put pressure on him? That's going to be a lot of Chaney up the middle there, Peterson and Poose on the outside, Barton up the middle. Those guys getting in there and making Wolfe's life terrible. that night in Madison, right? Get the crowd behind you, everything like that. You get the crowd noise. They're pumped up. You can get drinks in Madison now, right? Somebody's got to tell me if you can get Long Island iced teas down there, because my grandma, she's a big Long Island iced tea fan. I believe if they're serving those down there, I can get her down to Camp Randall. That's what we need. We need to get grandma to Camp Randall. So somebody has to tell me if they go down to that game, if there are Long Island iced teas, because that will get her in the gates. She won't even have to ask. She won't even ask. She's like, okay, I'm in the car. You don't even have to ask me twice, right? So, controlling Wolfe is going to be big in this game for the Badgers, putting pressure on him, letting your cornerbacks do their thing. I talked about the other day with Delancey. I feel like he's going to have a breakout season. You got Wohler back there. You got Latu back there. You're going to have Holman on the opposite side there. You have a lot of question marks in the cornerback room. Let's find out some of those answers here in this game against Western Michigan. How well do they defend? It's not going to be the greatest wide receiver core they're going to face on the season, but there's still some solid pieces in there. Looking at that wide receiver core for Western Michigan, they're returning their number one guy. Kenneth Womack is going to be returning there. Last season, 691 yards. It's hard to get a lot of yards when you're in an offense where the deep ball, everything like that isn't there. It's not quick. Routes don't really get to, you don't get to your spots, everything like that. Nothing develops fast. So it's hard to or at least have a good season in that kind of set. So Kenneth Womack is going to be the guy I'm watching for the Badgers to slow down. I believe we're going to see Ricardo Holman matched up on him if they are in a man in this game here. The 6 foot, 195 pound senior there, Kenneth Womack, 691 yards, 1 touchdown last season there. He's their main target. Outside of that, over the middle, you got to be watching for the tight end. They have a solid tight end there. Blake Bozema, the tight end there from Western Michigan. Last season, he's 6'3", 230-pound junior there. Solid hands. 19 receptions for 317 yards and 2 touchdowns last season there. Had a pretty good year for Western Michigan. Averaged about 16 yards per catch. So watching him over the middle there, controlling those 2 guys in the pass game, slowing them down, making somebody else beat you. That's going to be some of my big things or keys to watch out for and to happen in this game here for the Badgers. To have some success on the defensive side of the ball is slowing that attack down. Now you look at the offensive side for the Badgers. And, the big things for me, last year, the defense for Western Michigan, they stunk. Let's just go with they stunk there. Struggled to get off the field on third down there and weren't very good in pass defense. So attacking the corners, the pass rush, controlling their pass rush, giving Tyler Van Dyke time in there. They do have 3 veterans that did return in that secondary. So the hope is, right, for Western Michigan that they can put something good together out there in that secondary, because they did mightily struggle in that area. But this is an area that the Badgers could exploit in this game. So got to keep an eye on that there. The pass rush, like I was just talking about, for Western Michigan, they lost one of their best guys. Marshawn Nealand was taken in the second round by the Cowboys there. And Corey Walker is going to be a big factor in this game. Led the team in tackles last season. He's going to be a guy to watch out for on their defense, controlling him, not letting him get into that backfield. And then also they got Louisville transfer Popeye Williams. That is a heck of a name, Popeye Williams. I don't want to hear him say his name because that means that he did something good, but I really want to hear him say Popeye Williams a couple times because that'd be awesome. And, they got some good nose tackles there. 310-pound veteran Mason Nelson will be lining up at the nose. So, wow, 310-pound. That's a big boy. That is a big boy there, Mason Nelson. Looking at the linebackers, and this is going to be a big thing, Badgers controlling the trenches there. The linebackers, there's some athleticism and size in there. Donald Willis, very good range to him there, 6'4", 235 pounds, and Jacob Wahlberg. Those 2 guys up the middle there, guys that the Badgers need to take care of in the run game there. Got to get to the second level. Got to be able to slow them guys down. Give Ches Malusi and Tyree Walker, or maybe it's one of the rookies that gets in there, right? Dillian, getting in there possibly at some point. Got to give the guys in the backfield time to make something happen, right? Make something happen out there. So I'm watching the Badgers controlling that middle of the field there. Western Michigan last year sucked against the run. So the Badgers need to establish that run game early. And then, like I said, defensively, they got to get after Wolfe in this game. They got to get after Wolfe. They have to slow down that run game. They do those two things in this game here. The Badgers will be talking about a big-time W, and we'll be talking about a big-time W come back here on Monday, and with lots of good things to mention. Lots of good things to mention. Hopefully Monday we're coming back, and there's lots of good, not a lot of bad. That's always the hope, right? Lots of good, not a lot of bad. Do we always get that? Probably not. Probably not. But I'm going to predict. This is my first college football prediction. The Badgers will win this one going away. The Badgers will win this game going away. We won't be talking about much here come Monday except for what went right for the Badgers to win this one against Western Michigan. So, let's look at some college football. Let's check out the college football landscape there. Friday, tonight here, there's a couple of other ranked matchups happening. Temple and Oklahoma will be in action. They'll be playing in Norman, Oklahoma. There's Oklahoma should. I'm going to take Oklahoma to win that one going away. I think the betting line is on Oklahoma too. Oklahoma, they're at -42 right now. The spread is at -42. So, guessing, if we go with the voters, if we go with the voters, we're going to go with Oklahoma. The Vegas odds mean everything, right? Refs will throw it in the direction of the Vegas odds. That's just how it is. They'll just throw it in that direction. So looking at the Saturday games, I always hate when the biggest game of the day is going to be at 11 o'clock, but the biggest game of the day will be at 11 o'clock. We're going to be looking at Clemson taking on Georgia. That'll be in Atlanta. That already, it's in Atlanta. Clemson, I don't hate Dabo Swinney. A lot of people hate Dabo. Like, they hate the way, Dabo likes to talk about this and that and everything. A lot of people don't like Dabo Swinney. I don't have anything wrong with Dabo Swinney. I hope that Clemson has a good season in the ACC because I'm not opposed to Clemson being good. I hope Clemson has a good season in the ACC. It's not going to start in this game. Georgia is going to win that one. The spread is at -11.5 right now. So they're kind of putting... They're kind of saying that this is going to be a Georgia game here. So I'm going to take Georgia in this one. It's going to be a tight one. I think it's going to be tight, but Georgia will win this game. Looking at the next matchup there, Penn State taking on West Virginia. Penn State's got the spread right now at -8. I'm going to take West Virginia. It is in Morgantown, West Virginia there. That place is going to be rocking. I feel like they're going to have good quarterback play. I don't know if they've had good quarterback play in a while, but I like the quarterback play at West Virginia, and I just feel like the atmosphere is going to give them the upper hand. I'm going to take West Virginia in that game over Penn State early on. That's going to help the Badgers out. That'll help the Badgers out if my predictions hold true from yesterday. Iowa, Illinois State, that is going to be a terrible game to watch if you want to watch offense. I'm going to take Iowa in that game. Tennessee, Chattanooga, Tennessee, that's going to be a no-brainer. Oklahoma State and South Dakota State. The spread is at -9.5 right now towards Oklahoma State. Not what I expected. So South Dakota State expected to play close in this game. I'm going to take Oklahoma State in this one. It's in Stillwater. That's going to be a big boost. Like I said, playing at home in some of these games is going to be a big boost. This might be a close game, right? No, it's not going to be. Ohio State taking on Akron. The spread is at -48.5. I'm going to take Ohio State to win that one. Texas, Colorado State, not even a contest. Texas wins that one in Austin. Florida and Miami. Miami's favored -2.5 right now. Give me Florida. Graham Mertz and Chimere DK connect to win this game. They're gonna beat that spread. They're gonna put it up by 3. They're gonna win this one by 3. They're just gonna blow that up there by 1/2. So I'm gonna take Florida to win that one. Alabama, Western Kentucky, not a contest. Alabama wins that one. Ole Miss, Furman. Ole Miss wins that one there. Kansas State, UT Martin. Kansas State. Oregon, Idaho. I feel bad for Idaho in this one, traveling to Eugene, but they get a good check. Oregon wins that game there. Notre Dame, Texas A&M. That could be a good game. It's at College Station in Texas there. I'm going to take A&M to pull off the upset against Notre Dame and kind of just smush that college football playoff dream of getting a high bid in there. I'm going to smush that one right off the bat. I'm taking Texas A&M to win that game there. Michigan, Fresno State. Michigan's going to win that game in Ann Arbor. Arizona, New Mexico. Give me Arizona. And then we have some games on Sunday. One game on Sunday, LSU and USC. I'm hoping that LSU stomps USC, puts the end of the Trojans early on. The Badgers can take care of them a couple weeks later. And then we see Florida State and Boston College square off on Monday. I think Florida State does bounce back in this game after that really tough loss to Georgia Tech there. I think they bounce back. They take care of business over Boston College there. So a massive weekend. Not a lot of huge games. No rivalry games or anything like that. But college football's back. College football is back. I like that new Jelly Roll song, too, that he has for the college football when they college game day or whatever. That new Jelly Roll song that's on there for the theme song for college football. I like that song. I'm not going to lie. I'm not a huge Jelly Roll fan, but I like that song. I've heard it. I've listened to it a couple times on repeat because I'm sitting there and like, this song kind of rocks. This song kind of rocks. Like, this has got me excited for college football. So, love that. It's not Carrie Underwood singing on Sunday Night Football, right? It's not that, but it's still good. It's still a good song. Every time I play college football on the PlayStation now, you're gaming out there, I turn that song on. It pumps me up, gets me all fired up for the game. But massive weekend coming up here. College football is back. Cannot wait. Cannot wait for just game after game after game. And if you get tired of games, you can wait until the night games because, there's always the one in Arizona that starts at 9:30 there as North Dakota State stands tall on 4th down and gets the stop. There we go. There we go. There we go. North Dakota State. Hoping for the big win here for North Dakota State there. But let's get to some sponsors of the show here real quick before we move on. First, we got Game Day Supply in Onalaska. Do you have a sports club or team? Are you looking for some sweet custom uniforms or apparel? Check out the awesome crew at Game Day Supply in Onalaska to help your team get the sweetest gear. Find them on Facebook at Game Day Supply or online at GameDaySupply.net. Also, Sport Scene Sports Cards and Memorabilia, located in the Marshfield Mall in Marshfield, Wisconsin. Get down there and see Al. He has everything you need from sporting cards to memorabilia, jerseys, model stock cards. He's got it all. Sports Scene in Marshfield. Pittsville Farm and Home Center. At the store, they serve you anything from hydraulic hoses to red roses. Stop in and see the awesome crew at Pittsville Farm and Home Center in Pittsville, Wisconsin. Marshfield Motor Speedway is located just 3 miles outside of Marshfield on County Road H. Get down there this summer. Tons of family fun for all ages. Great food, great drinks, great atmosphere. Nothing better than a great summer day or night down at the track there. Marshfield Motor Speedways. Your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty. Call Peggy, Sue, or Anna to find your dream home or if you're looking to sell. Find them on Facebook at your hometown team, Century 21 Gold Key Realty, or stop in and see them at their location in Marshfield. And also Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin. If you've been injured recently, whether it was at work, whether you were mowing the lawn, playing with dogs, kids, whatever it was, you felt something tear, pop, didn't feel right, you went to the doctor, they said you better see a physical therapist. I cannot name anyone better to go and see than Chad at Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin there. He'll get you right. He'll get you back mowing the lawn, playing with the kids, the dogs, doing whatever you were doing, feeling better than ever. Sport and Spine Clinic in Greenwood, Wisconsin there. So with that, let's get to the Brewers. Let's talk a little Brewers here and their series recap with the San Francisco Giants. They get the series win over the Giants there. First game, 5-4 loss for the Brewers there. You were like, this series might be a little tougher. This is a good team. Giants aren't a bad team by any means. 67 and 66, but they're a solid team all the way around. But after that first game, you're sitting there like, oh man, here we go. Here we go. How does this Brewers team bounce back in game two? Game two, 5-3 final in that one. We saw Freddie Peralta pitched a fantastic game for the Brewers. Fantastic. 6 innings, 2 hits, no earned runs, 3 walks, 8 strikeouts for Freddie. McGill, an inning there, 2 hits, 1 earned run. Koenig for 2/3 of an inning, 3 hits, 2 earned runs. And then we saw Piamps go a third of an inning. Devin Williams go an inning there with a K. He got the save in this one. Piamps got the hold. Piamps bounces back the day after he gave up the home run that would be the game winner in that one there. Looking at the Brewers lineup in that game, Chourio stays hot. Chourio stays hot for the Brewers. He's been nothing but fantastic as of late. 241 over the last 7, 288 over the last 15, 309 over the last 30. Chourio has done a lot with a little for this Brewers team. Consistently is able to drive the ball for the Brewers, drive in runs. Nothing more you can ask out of this kid. He has been exciting. Nothing but exciting for this Brewers team, and a bright spot where it seemed like all was lost when Christian Yelich went down. Now Jackson Chourio is lighting the world on fire, and it's like, okay, we're good. We're good. We got that guy. He's our guy, right? And Contreras has been hitting the ball well over this last series. Contreras hit very well. He's got that average back up to 285. Over the last 7, he's hitting 240. Last 15, he's hitting 278. Over the last 30, he's hitting 280. But you look at the home runs totals. Over the last 15 games, he's hit 4 home runs. Over the last 15. One, he had that big home run the other night there for the Brewers in that 5-run inning. Contreras has been nothing but rock steady for the Brewers there in that lineup. Willy Adames, he continues to do his thing in that middle of that order for the Brewers. Driving in runs, 3 RBIs over the last 7 games. He's hitting 296 over the last 7 games. So Willy Adames hitting well over the last week here for the Brewers. And then outside of that, you're just hoping for guys outside of those two to start heating up. And Mitchell in the final game of this series, we did see Mitchell, couple of hits there for him. Couple of hits for Mitchell in that final game of the series. Just pulling up his stats. 2 for 3 in that game there. He's got that average at 252, hitting 300 over the last 7 games. Gotta love it. Gotta love it there. Mitchell starts to get hot. This team starts to roll. Man, oh man, once the bats start to wake up, the pitching staff has been great. Savali, 7 innings, 2 hits, 0 earned runs, 7 strikeouts. I was the first hater on Savali, and he's been figuring it out. And Aaron Ashby, 2 innings there, 3 strikeouts for him coming out of the bullpen and finishing it off for the Brewers in that one. So, we look ahead to the weekend. For the Brewers. They're going to have a doubleheader today here. First game is going to start at 11:40 against the Reds. That will be Colin Ray taking on Martinez for the Reds in that one. Colin Ray, 12-4, has been nothing but fantastic. Martinez, 6-6 with that 3.62 ERA. And then we look at game 2 of that. DL Hall was recalled. DL Hall is back with the Brewers. Could see DL Hall start in game 2 of this doubleheader here. That one is slated for, I believe, 5:40. Yes, 5:40 is the second game there. And I could see DL Hall starting in that one for him. Looking at game number 3 of the series there on Saturday, Frankie Montas will get the ball for the Brewers. Not a clue who's going to be pitching for the Reds yet. And then on Sunday, we see Tobias Myers. Not a clue who's pitching for the Reds yet come Sunday there. So looking at some of the injury report for the Brewers, I don't want to get people too crazily excited because it doesn't mean a lot this season yet, but Brandon Woodruff is pitching off a mound again. He's going to be pitching off a mound, and it's a big milestone for him there. Tuesday, he threw 15 pitches in the bullpen prior to the Brewers series opener with the Giants there. His next session will be scheduled for Friday or Saturday when they go to Cincinnati to play the Reds there, depending on what the weather looks like there. It's still, like I said, it's very early on in this whole process of him coming back. So I wouldn't get too overly excited with this one. It's great news. So don't get me wrong. It's great news, but it's not something that we need to completely hold the phone, everybody, all this. It's a great first step in the rehab process, but it's just the first step. There's still tons of stuff that needs to happen for him before next season there, before he can come back there. So looking at the rest of the injury report, like we already know, Nick Mears goes to the IL. Aaron Ashby got recalled. Hobie Milner is scheduled for early September there. Rob Zastrinski, still nothing going for him yet. Outside of those 2 guys there, Anoli Paredes continues to work down there. In he was in high A, was moved to Triple A on August 22nd, began to work out of the Sounds bullpen there. He is eligible to return on September 1st there. So now we know. Now we know Paredes is scheduled to be able to return on September 1st. So something to keep an eye on there. JB Buckus, late September, he could return back to the Brewers there. And then, I mean, outside of that, not a whole lot on the injury front, which is good news. Which is good news there, that we aren't talking about a lot of injuries for the Brewers, just some guys who are slowly returning back to it here. So, with that, I mean, that's about all I got for today. That's about all I got. Brewers, weekend series here coming up with the Giants. Or not with the Giants, they just played the Giants. With the Reds. Big weekend series coming up with the Reds there. So make sure if you're not going to the Badger game, maybe you go to both. Maybe you go to the Badger game, then you travel to American Family Field, and you get to watch the Brewers there, maybe on Saturday, right? Or you double dip, right? The 11:40 game for the Brewers, and then you travel down to Madison real quick, and you go watch the Badger game. You could double dip on Friday. I won't be doing that personally, but you can double dip on Friday. I can't think of a better Friday. I can't think of a better Friday there. But Brewers, big weekend series with I am completely just losing my mind here to end the show. It's a Friday. It's a Friday here, folks. It's a Friday here. The Brewers play on the road, so I'm going to assume you will not be traveling from Cincinnati back to Madison to watch both games there. Oh, it's a Friday. It's a Friday. We got to wrap it up before we get too crazy here. Brewers at Cincinnati. You won't be able to watch both. Maybe you're going to travel to Cincinnati and watch that one. Should be an exciting series there. And then Badgers, 8 o'clock start for that game. That should be a good one. Getting the Badgers back on the field. Can't wait to watch a little Badger football there. Hopefully, we're talking about a big win coming back on Monday there, and we're talking about a big Brewers series win. The magic number, I believe, is down to 20 at this point. Next week, we're getting ready for the Packers to start out their season there at the Eagles. Oh, man. We got a big next week coming up here. So, with that, this has been Wisconsin Sports on the Go with Trage. Thank you guys for listening. I hope you guys enjoy your fantastic weekend. But until I talk to you guys again on Monday, deuces.
Yeah, oh my Lord, watch me sway. Darkness falls and we all pray, hoping for the light of day. Down to the river, I have held the devil's hand, felt the weight of my own sin, burdened by the heart of man. Down to the river, down to the river.